Hi there everyone, it is currently the 24th of December 2011, and out here in the Western Pacific today, there's several areas of tropics we continue to watch today, but the main topic is this new tropical storm Nesat. Now, Tropical Storm Nesat is moving off towards the west-northwest, approximately 12 knots. JMA is holding this at approximately 35 knots sustained winds with a pressure of 1,000 HPA. We'll dive a little bit more into that in a second, but I do want to note out over Japan, high pressure is continuing to dominate out there as the Asiatic high continues to ridge over the region, bringing a lot cooler temperatures across much of the island here. But also out here towards the west in the South China Sea, you're continuing to see monsoonal flow move onshore towards Vietnam, producing an abundance of rain showers out there. Really, they do not need any more rain showers as there has been a lot of reports of flooding out in that region. But we're going to dive a little bit more into Tropical Storm Nesat here. Now, Tropical Storm Nesat is rapidly deepening and developing here on this enhanced IR and water vapor imagery in here. You can see a lot of higher cloud tops here towards the southwest. Actually, Palau getting an abundance of precipitation here in the last 24 hours. And actually extending out here towards Mindanao, you're also seeing a lot of rain showers wrapping into the center of the circulation. Overall, though, the outflow along the southern periphery and the inflow very good. A little bit of suppression up here towards the north, but still having a lot of it wrap around, and the system continues to rapidly develop as it sits under real low vertical wind shear. And high sea surface temperatures actually above 30 degrees Celsius, therefore allowing for a lot of that latent heat and fuel for the system to continue to develop. But here's showing the visible imagery we got this morning at 00 Zulu after the sun came up. You do see a lot of that inflow on the southern periphery as just indicated, but overall you can really get that clear indication of that good circulation coming around this system. A lot of low clouds up here towards the north still wrapping into it, so would not expect or would not be surprised at all if this does develop into a typhoon in the next 36 to 48 hours, or even sooner than that, since the storm is rapidly increasing in intensity. And here just showing another imagery, actually water vapor imagery, just showing a lot of those higher cloud tops here indicated in red, a lot of that moisture throughout this entire region, and that is also just showing that this system continues to build up in intensity here. And also here is another tool I like to use. I don't show this one too often because it is kind of hard to read, but it does show that this storm is increasing intensity. Now it's a side scan swoop from the TRMM precipitation radar from the TRMM satellite, just showing that a lot of that precipitation here on the southern periphery, actually upwards of about 10-kilometer high of these cumulonimbus tops right in here, but also indicating this very heavy rainfall indicated by about 40 to 45 dBz located just right near the center of circulation, and that is a clear indication of a start of an eye wall starting to form up around that region right near the center of circulation here. So I also do want to note that as well. And also not to mention the fact that you do have a lot of these high winds, about 30 to 35 knots indicated on the ASCAT imagery here, right near the center of circulation, which kind of confirms up what that TRMM satellite is putting out as well. So that is a look at what the storm is doing right now. Here is a look at where it's actually going to be going. And if we take a glance over at the streamline analysis, you can see that there's an area of high pressure just north of the region here, indicated in this blue. That is indicating that downward vertical motion or negative vorticity, and a lot of this ridging coming in from the east. Well, that's going to suppress this storm down towards the south. So you're not going to see too much of a polar movement from it, and that's also going to keep it tracking off on a western track here, likely making landfall here just south of Aparia along the east coast of Luzon. And yesterday we were talking about this pop-up possibility actually with the Euromodel. Well, that Euromodel is still tracking the storm off in that general direction, right off towards northern Luzon, actually making landfall along the east coast as a severe tropical system. And what I mean by severe tropical system is as a typhoon or even a possible super typhoon. JTWC actually has this increasing up to 130 knots, so it's going to be a very potent and dangerous system as it does make landfall here along the east coast. Also, I do want to mention is that this particular model streamline analysis as just discussed here does show the system tracking off towards the northwest after it crosses Luzon here, and that's really after you follow all the background flow here, and as the storm starts to track along the western periphery of that subtropical ridge around that steering flow and head up here towards southeast China and basically the Hong Kong region, you could see some high wind. and heavy precipitation. But another thing on the fact of precipitation, I do want to strongly note is that if this storm does take the track here out towards Luzon, there is a very high potential of flooding. As you can see here, this is the rainfall anomaly from the trim satellite, just showing that higher amount of precipitation out here, indicated in blue. That's upwards of 15 millimeters of over what you normally see daily as far as precipitation across the Western Pacific here, noting that in the last several weeks we have been seeing a lot of rain from the last couple storms that came through here, Roki and Talas combined, that ran over southern Japan. That's why that's indicated up here in blue. And also extending out here towards Indochina, you have all these areas in blue, and that is due to a very strong monsoonal season this year. But also that monsoonal season continues to extend out here towards northern Luzon, and you also have this region in blue seeing daily precipitation values above normal. Well, with the system tracking out towards that region, those grounds in that region are already saturated, and this could be a very high flood slash mudslide risk across much of northern Luzon. So we're going to continue to monitor this storm as it does develop, and if it does develop into a very strong system, it looks like it will, then this will be a very dangerous situation. But just showing JMA's track here at 03 UTC, or about 1200 Japan Standard Time, it does show the track moving off here towards the west-northwest, then basically moving on a more westerly direction before starting to round that subtropical ridge off here towards the northeast and heading up here, just making landfall along northeast Luzon. So this area is not unfamiliar to tropical landfalls, but given the strong monsoonal season this year, it really could cause a lot of problems and a lot of damage out here. And also, I do want to mention, beyond the next 5 days, you do have this very large cone of air out here extending all the way from Taiwan all the way down towards much of the South China Sea here. So there still is a lot of air beyond the track after it moves past Luzon here, but it likely will recurve and head off towards southeastern China, bringing a lot of rainfall with it. But that is all for right now, everyone. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, as usual, please post them here on the YouTube channel or at westernpacificweather.com. Plenty of different ways you can post comments there as well. But thanks again for watching. Please continue to check back in with JTBC, Bagasa, and JMA, all warning on the system right now. Bagasa actually just starting to put out low pressure advisories on this, and they have announced that it is a tropical depression, yet they have not put out an exact track on it just yet. But I would likely expect them to do that in the next 24 hours as it does move into their area of responsibility. So thanks again. Please stay safe, everyone, and have a great day.